Guys, how you all going? Ryan Tate here. I wanted to talk today about fraud, something that none of us are immune to, whether it be people or companies or whoever. None of us are immune to it, and just how the blockchain and that technology is a lot safer way. So what is fraud? It's dishonesty or an intentionally deceptive action made by an individual or an entity. And as I say, no single person or company is safe from fraud. So it's regardless of the laws that are out there to fight fraud, it does not stop it, and that threat actually increases daily. So if you just think about all the times that we put all our personal information into websites, almost daily for some of us, and that can be all it takes for fraudsters to basically take our details and commit credit card fraud. Last year, 15 million US consumers were affected by identity fraud. In 2013, 3.7 trillion was estimated to have been lost due to fraud. In 2014, only 14% of businesses actually made a full recovery after fraud claims. And indirectly, it can really majorly affect a business's reputation. So cyber fraudsters, obviously they're not holding a gun to our head. They're sly like foxes. They basically sneak in to your personal details. And some of the types of frauds that are out there are skimming, check fraud, and online identity theft. So what is skimming? Skimming, basically, you may have heard of it. It's where they say to watch out for ATMs that have a bit of a loose front to them when you're putting your card in, and it is a major problem. There are other forms of skimming as well. In 2015, January through to April, skimming actually grew. Offences of skimming actually grew by 173%. And that was just in bank ATMs. In non-bank ATMs, the growth was 316%. So it's a major problem. Check fraud, handing over a check linked to an account with no money in it is an example of check fraud. And also crims going through the rubbish and copying info of an old check and using that information. So each time you skim your credit card, or swipe, your credit card, it goes through no less than 4 entities or companies, which a lot of people don't realise, and sometimes it can be a lot more than that. So that's giving crims more opportunities, obviously, to grab your personal information and in turn commit identity theft. So it can go on for months also before people even realise that it's happened. So one of the costliest things for companies is chargebacks. This is also known as friendly fraud. So there's nothing friendly about it though. Basically in e-commerce, 1 in 300 orders involves a chargeback. According to Visa, online merchants lost $11.8 billion to cases of friendly fraud in 2012. The amounts spent to combat hackers are between $445 billion and $1 trillion annually. So it's a major problem. One huge case that you may have heard of last year, quite recently in 2017, was Equifax, where over 145 million Americans had their data exposed by that credit reporting company. So it's that's just insane. So you think about grandparents or perhaps our parents' generation. Sometimes they'll only use cash to try and reduce fiat currency, dollars and cents, to try and reduce the risk of being scammed. This has major flaws in itself, which I'll talk about in a separate video, because I could go on about that for a very long time. But blockchain and Bitcoin, which is obviously the main currency system that changes hands within the blockchain technology that most hear about. There are other cryptocurrencies out there, but this can make a major difference for the world when it comes to fighting hackers. So what's so good about the blockchain? It's a decentralized distributed ledger. So what that means, if you're sort of new to that concept, basically, is that it's, if you think about a scam or a criminal having to break into one home to commit a crime, basically they'd need to break into a city full of homes to get that same information. And that's the fantastic thing, or just one of the fantastic things about blockchain, basically. And that city of homes that they need to break into isn't in one location either. It's distributed all over the world in thousands and thousands of different places. So there's no one central place, which is fantastic. There's no single point of failure. So the other thing is to alter a single blockchain transaction would need a 5149 rule. So 51% of the entire system of computers would need to agree simultaneously to alter that transaction. So you know, the mathematical chance of that is virtually impossible. So that's another huge one. A Bitcoin transaction is a direct transaction between you, the person that's paying, and you know, the person that you want to pay. So none of your personal information is shared, and you know, it's an anonymous alphanumerical address that changes all the time that's being used. And even on the public blockchain, your information is hashed and secured, which again I'll talk about more so in more detail on another video. But you know, that's a fantastic thing as well. So there's zero chance of chargebacks with using the blockchain technology. The way that's actually set up, you know, it's not possible. Once that transaction's done, it's done, and there's a date and a hash code and everything else that's you know, monitoring that, and that can't be changed, as we were talking about. So the only real vulnerable point in you know, a Bitcoin transaction or cryptocurrency transaction is yourself. So make sure that you keep your password safe at all times. You know, don't have the same password for different platforms and things like that. And yeah, and just be safe and don't be silly, because I mean, you're the only thing that can really go wrong in that transaction, and as I say, it's there for good. So if you've enjoyed this video, please share it with others, and you know, feel free to comment and like. I'd love to have feedback and let us know, you know, if you can contribute in any way. And yeah, I'm going to sign out for now, and I'll see you soon on my next video. Ryan Billy Tate signing out. Thanks a lot.